Welcome to another Davis Dimension episode, video, vlog, whatever you want to call it. Who cares? As long as you're here, that's what matters the most. Before I start, I just want to say if you're new, I usually talk about mental health, behavioral health stuff. Try to share things I've been learning. I've read, I've watched. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of articles. I read a lot of things and watch a lot of things. So I just usually go off of that. I'm not saying everything I read is accurate or anything like that, but that's where I get my stuff from. I review quotes and posts that I see on social media, and then just talk about it. I'm a vlogger. I had to realize like 2 years ago that I'm just a vlogger. Like I never labeled myself as that. I didn't look at it as that. I looked at it as I was doing everybody a favor by making videos or just sharing and being honest. And let me just say for the record, I've been doing this since 2016. And my first video that I actually made but never posted because I was too scared was in 2013. So I'm a long time coming for this. And let me just say, I made a TikTok. So do me a favor and add me on TikTok and follow me, show some support on there because I just made that and I'm trying to get my views up and my followers and all that stuff like that because I do care. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, I do this from the heart. I don't do it for the love. I don't do it for the views and stuff like that. I do it because of the culture. I'm not gonna sit here and say it because we all want to be heard. We all want to be seen. We all want our material, our content, whatever we create to be observed. That's the truth. We don't want to be people are scared to get criticized, but we want our stuff to be seen. And I'm not gonna lie, act like I don't. I do. But my problem is the consistency. So I've been doing this for a while. I got a crap ton of videos on my YouTube channel. Go back on my Facebook. Got a crap ton of stuff. So if you're new, I've been doing this for a while. I'm not new. I'm not some new influencer. I'm not some new boy trying to be woke. I'm not some new person just now hopping on this wave of talking and telling stories. I've been doing this crap for almost 10 years. It's just my fault that I haven't been super consistent about it. Anyways, today's quote is to accept one's past, one's history, it's not the same as drowning in it. It's learning how to use it. James Baldwin. Okay? Plug my phone up. Alright? Accepting your history, man. It's crazy. The thing is this. I grew up in Philly. Grew up in Logan. Okay? Roosevelt Boulevard, Hunted Park, next to Nicetown, all that. Okay? If you're in Philly, you're from Philly, you know what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily true, but if you know, you know. If you're not from Philly, then you know that Logan is like a medium area, okay? Like, stuff has happened, but in my eyes, in my opinion, it's not that bad. People try to front and pretend like it's this wildfire. I mean, now, like, in today's time, yeah, like, it's a little bit dangerous. It can really be. But growing up, I didn't see much. I didn't really experience much. Like, I had neighbors die, or you hear about somebody getting shot, hear something, you don't know if it's a gunshot or not. I've seen people sell drugs and things like that. Like, of course, okay? Like, of course. And in this time, in this day and age, in the black community, where don't you see that? Where don't you hear that? Okay? At least a few times, okay? My traumas, my experiences, my past things don't stem from that, though. Mine stems from my house, family, social interactions in school, from elementary all the way through. That's where a lot of my troubles, traumas, things to overcome come from. It's from there. It's not from the block. It's not from the hood. It's not even from, I was about to say from being black, but technically it is. Who knows, right? Thing is this. If someone dug up your past today, right now, as we speak, and put it out there, how would you feel? Would you be embarrassed? Would you be ashamed? Would you be scared? Would you be nervous? Would you be overwhelmed? Would you want to run away and hide? Would you want to change your name? And heck, some people will go and kill themselves because the secret finally got out. Okay? No joke. And what I want you to understand, and what I talk about in all these videos that I make all the time, is overcoming, acknowledging, consciousness, awareness, being truthful and honest with yourself about your past. I'm not telling you to make videos and go put your business out there like me. I don't put all my business out there, but I talk about stuff, and I'm not doing this to be some kind of hero or whatever. It's just an example, all right? It's just to set the standard. Why? Because me, ain't shit nobody can tell me about my past that I'm ashamed of, okay? I'm not ashamed to talk about stuff I've been through. I'm not going to go out here and tell every single person my whole life story every single time in all my business because that's dumb. But stuff that most people don't want to talk about because their manhood is going to be attacked, or they're going to come off as a punk, or they're going to sound like they whining, or they're going to be embarrassed, male or female, whatever. They don't want to talk about it. So it's stuff that's really little for real, but you want to hide it because you want to maintain this image you got today. Okay? And I understand image plays a lot in a lot of lanes and a lot of things. We're not touching that right now. I get it. But truth be told, people be hurting on the inside. People got stuff that they not letting out, that they not talking about, that got a lot to do with why they act today, good or bad. Okay? So what I'm going to get at here in my little story would be for today is, it's safe to say I wasn't bullied because I got in fights all the time. I fought my people back. I wasn't no big time like victim or nothing like that. We're not going to say that because that's not what it is. But in 3rd grade, 4th grade, a little bit of 5th grade, sometimes 6th grade, I got into a lot of fights. Got into a lot of stuff. All right, I was an easy target for people because I got mad. I had anger issues ever since I can remember. 2nd grade, so that's like 5, 6 years old and things like that. Always. I don't know why, till this day. I'm getting to the bottom of it. I do a lot of reading, do a lot of watching, try to do a lot of learning. But in those times, a lot of that has to do with when I got to high school and even till this day as a 23-year-old. I struggle with talking about certain stuff, expressing certain stuff, communicating with people, being open in social circles because I still have damages and things that stuck around from the past. But I'm not ashamed to talk about that. Like, if somebody gave me a good question one day and they wanted a real answer, well, I'll give a real answer. And I hope you would listen because I'll tell you all about it. People don't want to talk about old stuff. There's people right now that's been bullied to the extreme and they never going to tell nobody because they don't want to look like, oh, you was a bitch back then. Excuse my language, but you was a bitch back then. You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't try to act tough, because there's so many people out here who fake, and they try to act like they really on something, and they don't do, and they not about that life, and they never been about that life. Trying to be hard, trying to be a rapper, trying to be tough, trying to be a baller, and they're not. Okay? And I never tried to be something I'm not. Like, I mean, I had my times where I try to fit in and things like that, because that's trying to be somebody that's not. Pause. But thing is, I never hardcore tried to be somebody I wasn't. I never tried to dress more than I could afford. My mom wasn't having that anyway. My family wasn't having that anyway. I didn't try to go out here and act like I get bitches. I didn't try to go out here and act like I be bald and I be at the scene, at the club, at the party. I never did none of that. I stayed to myself, okay? And don't get me wrong. If I was more confident, if I didn't get bullied, if I didn't get in so many fights and have so many issues and hate so many people, I probably would have did some of those things some more. But it's one of them things that's a blessing in disguise. And that's the other half of this quote. Okay? The other half of this is learning how to use it, and it's not the same as drowning in it. Some people look at their past and all they do is think about all the wrong stuff. Every time they talk about their past, it's all negative. They just keep dwelling on it. They just keep talking about it, and it doesn't sound productive. When you actually look back on your past and you want to study it and peep the patterns that exist in your life, okay, it's different. Because some people want to be like, oh, you looking at the past, let go of the past. Why you always want to go backwards? Why you want to talk about this and that? Because you have to. You have to. Backwards can be forward, okay? And I'm going to say that till I die. Backwards can be forward, okay? Until you realize, like, yo, I did the same thing when I was 6. I did the same thing when I was 12. I did the same thing when I was 17. I'm 25 now. I'm 40. I'm still doing the same thing. Or the last time I got put on the spot, I broke down and cried. The last time I had to do a presentation, I froze up. The last time I tried to approach this girl that I like, I fell. Any of them things. It's patterns in your life. Patterns in your life. And you gotta peep them. You gotta acknowledge them. You gotta realize, like, yo, a lot of this stems from the past. A lot of the things we do as adults, young adults, whatever, is pattern based. People don't want to acknowledge that. People don't want to think about that. They just want to be out here, YOLO, you only live once, free reign, do whatever I want until something goes wrong. And then it's boo-hoo, why me? Nobody told me, I ain't getting no help, blah, 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 when it's not about that. Because at some point in your life, you got to take responsibility for decisions that you made. And making and will make, period. No questions asked, okay? You must look back. You must study. You must learn. You must decide, what did this mean in the past? What does it mean now? And what will it mean for me then? You need to think about that. I think about this stuff all the time. And I'm glad I did. You know, I didn't get this way overnight. And there was times where I felt embarrassed to talk about, you know, my past, of course, like in school, and because I was picked apart a lot because of the music I listened to, the way that I dressed, the way that I look, you know, me always getting mad, always being angry, always being alone. It's a target. I was an easy target. And guess what? It's common everywhere. In every race of people, in every group, it's easy to target the guy or the girl who's quiet, the guy or the girl who's to themselves, the guy or the girl who's shy. It is what it is. And that's normal. And guess what? You have to learn. Part of accepting your past, your history, is accepting that, hey, I'm not the only one this happens to. And in fact, that's your strength. The fact that it happens to you plus so many other people gives you more strength. And it should. Okay? Because you're never alone. You are not alone and you're never alone. Always remember that. Always remember that. And the thing here that's most important is, you know, people struggle in all kinds of ways. It's not enough time to talk about it. And I'm not going to drag this time. Okay? Your past is your past. And you got to own it. You got to admit it. People don't even want to admit it to themselves. I'm talking about telling people and opening up about it. People don't even want to talk to themselves about it. Like, people do, and you don't even realize that you do this. People do this every day. They listen to music. They draw. They watch cartoons, play video games. They go to the club, sex, sports. And they overwhelm themselves with something to block out the rest of the stuff that they be thinking. And that's just the truth. Okay? And we all know this, all right? If you haven't never thought about this, congratulations. I said it, and I hope you continue to think about it. We purposely find things to overwhelm ourselves with, to block stuff out, okay? And that's fine because it's actually necessary to move forward. But on that same breath, you got to stop acting like you don't have traumas, issues, and pains and things in your past. And it's not about having attachments and looking back all the time. People gonna label it all kinds of things, and I'm not gonna drag this too much more because I said enough right on this, and I'll say more details and more specifics. But people will try to say, "Oh, you digging in the past? Why do you need to know this? Why do you need to do this and that?" Because they would never do it, and they're not trying to do it. And you remind them of the things that they're running from. So when I say, or when you see quotes that talk about old things, old traumas, overcoming, looking at the past, learning from the past, this is important. It is important. If you don't study history, history will repeat itself. It's going to do that anyway. And all over the world, the same problems keep happening over and over because people don't learn. As a mass, people don't learn from their mistakes. But if you want to break the cycle, do something new, go somewhere you never gone before, see something you don't usually see, you have to stop doing the same things you've been doing since day one. You have to stop. So today, for myself, I'm way better than I was. And can't nobody take it from me. I know I said this in other videos, but nobody can take this from me. This is the biggest thing in my life. I don't give two craps about money. I know I ain't the richest. I damn sure ain't the poorest. But I know this, can't nobody take my story from me, period. Can't nobody do that. And that's my thing. When I walk into a room, y'all share quotes about, oh, when you walk into a room, you know you a boss when you don't compare yourself to other people, but y'all still comparing yourselves to other people. And guess what? That's a lie because everybody compares themselves to everything. It's natural. It's human. It's normal. How else do you track progress if you don't compare? Don't you think companies compare their sales to other companies or what they did in last year's performance to today? You got to compare to measure your growth. So that's BS. Drop that quote from there. Don't ever say that no more. Everybody compares themselves when they walk somewhere. It is what it is. It's ego, it's pride, it's learning, it's a lot of things. Comparison can kill, but comparison can complete or create or complement many other C words that fit that, okay? And don't be ashamed of that. So when you look in your past, you drag yourself through that, you admit that, hey, I had these bad moments that may be embarrassing if somebody found out. So one of the best ways, guess what? Is to tell somebody and talk about it and be bold, because most people ain't bold enough to talk about it, especially with strangers. What's the worst they gonna do? If they find out, okay, you used to smoke, you used to drink, you used to be an addict, you used to be homeless, maybe you got abused, like all these things. What's the worst a person gonna do when they find out about this? I mean, I get it. It's people's secret, and secrets are sacred information, and it can be embarrassing. I'm not acting like I tell everybody everything, and I'm such an open book. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying that there are times and there are things that aren't that deep and aren't that much of a secret, but you holding on to it and you making it more of a secret, and you know it has an effect on you. So I'm gonna leave it there. When you think about your past, how does it make you feel? Are you embarrassed? Are you scared? Does it make you feel isolated? Does it make you feel different? Does it make you feel weird? Less of a man, less of a woman? You got to think about that. And that's just the truth. That's what it is. Does it make you weak? Does it make you less of a human? Does it make you any less capable than anybody else? It might have, because the truth is that thing in your past may be the number one reason why you're not where you are today, or it may be the reason why you are where you are today. You haven't registered that yet, and if you did, then well done. Well done. Because it's the stuff in the mess that create the best picture. A lot of times when people make their best work in history, I'm talking about music, art, movies, acting, whatever, people make their best work when they're struggling. People make their best work when they're sad. People make their best work when they're going through something. This we know. All the best ballads, songs, gospel songs, heartfelt, number one top hits by your favorite artists are the songs that they wrote when they was really going through something. So those things, when you go through those phases, mean the most. Period. Thanks for listening. See you on the next one.